Tiafo ema munyina ha sabre ya mwakwa basonko edeba me mainti so high and neat 100.9 ya worship house ewo Abeka Junction and Crime e was ya meka o se ene eye benada ai match boso me to so do nine boso me pepe atwa mu ne ne edi odobo some eda ododa soronko Valentine's Day it's ene eye benada 14th March 2023 in the year of our Lord. They say yenya efie mpimienu ene aduonu miensa no yedi mu ahans adioso emiensa adioso miensa 73 days and I spend it 2023 afino emo yegusua ya yepem ekoye nima nkakra say aka 292 days 292 days more that just say do December 31 emo Ebusia for me mu akwa bason kwa sedaka senkoma production crew Jordan Adoma Jerry Osaya Ajima Frema Abankro na ya Osafo Ebusia da Roma no bo mi chidoma wie meche se kutu na medisi ha no mo Sabre wo hwe live Facebook and YouTube Facebook ya needs 100.9 FM live and I will call YouTube mo so Despite Media Ebusia ewiase aye won entra mo bi ntra wani Jesu wate ye de ho beto nye ne nkrofo beka I best feelings ba kwa obenya power brabom ene se woni obi ahia na nipa ne hunu se de wusi tie mfom so wo hu nyina wa hunu nanso agye watom se de wotie no a wafa wo saa wo hia nipa sa menu ya manu nko grabono ne mu odzen so no mu twitwe wate obi a wo mfom so bebrebe nyinara enfum so bebrebe o ha bebrebe me papa na e kan nasem o se hu ono papa o nsem bebre chenkra ne ensu ni nyina achi no bu na ni guso a wonne waso mu kua ya wonne enam ushi adamfo bi etesa so ne mu yie wate na wo mu hu enna yie papa ebusia wiasa wote menka na hoden sonko amede bowura mu na chese me bomu yie a eja ni gina so kama pa na chese ye peacemaker fast foods o wa mada roma na wi o mama men ye mu oden eti ha mefu aboma se den ye ne ye be ye dwuma na nkasa ye be ye dwuma na nkasa me ni me crew members nyina enya sem ketwa peacemaker fast foods Womo ewo Abeka Harvest Church Dinachi Harvest sorry no echi ho pe Abeka Harvest sorry na echi ho no mo womaduane minia esofo mu ana pai eduane ye kama ahomeka wom emodwo kama wo dia me say wo Abeka area mu ho no mo na wote me ne a Peacemaker fast food womo wo eyi Harvest sorry ho no mo no echi ho pe ho eno mo wo de ekọ just go and buy if order jollof keke noodles na wo pe de che bibia chips na wo hwehwe chips and chicken na wo pa na anasa beef sauce na wo pe plain rice any beef sauce won be ya mo atafre won sadu ni nyina hwe ya do nan kora beka ho womaduane ya de yi apomde papa nso wo mu kama because eniema womde ye na nam a chese ya eye nam kroje fish na meat nso so akama wo ma sauce ni say ya neat udi atenka say yes what the aduane awi abon super guso no agekio na just baby e edi amount ebusuafo mo ye delivery service so etu pe bi ato na pe delivery so on be deliver ma one time quick. It's the only Peacemaker fast foods and kasa 05933983354. It's 05933 and a 05927742289. Roman no mo nkomo wate wo pese wo ye party ana wo ye ayie wo pe ana bi wedding reception na wo pobia na aduane e de ama wo a mesrewa wo ne Peacemaker fast foods for any nkita ho wate omo de asumdue nko a wo mo mpe gidigidi wo mbe sompa wo mbe sefo kama amwani agye sefin papa nkasa pa de Peacemaker fast food minua we wa mama me papa se da kese nkoma James baby a wo bia we me chia o Ebusuya for your WhatsApp line no so ye bia tomo 0503721744 your WhatsApp line no 0503721744 bomodin say wo message bia wo no wo de befa ho no na ye beken kan brese fatamo e de abao ensem bebre ne guapono so smart ase ya what is born holders no womo e kasa womo ni abrese krodom mom se ada na ban wutwe edi sa obi a wo so wa yi afiri mu pensioner born holders no wo so wa yi afiri mu afede wa yi afiri mu a bete sam 2 times in ye wuntu ya eman ada na ban wo ye sa ada na ban wo de ye fa sa kwan no so wo ni ye ni yiye aban ya aka no kure kakra wate na ne wo ye ne ye mpa ye ne nye ho ye mere wa ne nkokora ya sumo men ye sem ye ne fifira sumo men so mpa na ne ya kwa homegye mu a na ye bond kakra ya kwa akoto aw na wasan so aba befa wonsusu a wo se wa yi afiri mu afa de ye hunu kotoko kura mfa kura nhima de na ban wo ye sa the way ye su a bond holders no wo mo esu enye no kwa ye nyina ni tua se electoral commission so wa ba se wo the constitutional instrument for eba abetu parliament anim na parliament anim no constitutional instrument no wode beto 21 days wo mo ho kwan se wo bebobo ho aka ho nsem ne ade nyina ansana wo ma hyase ahwemu eyie na eno na ye Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan wode na no aba betum bi ye wo constitutional instrument mu nyina ene se electoral commission per se Ghana ha afi abato din a ye tro no wo ba betre wudin a ese wukita Ghana card nkwa uni Ghana card no wadi mfi ndu nwotwe wadi mfi wo hawo ba bitna uni Ghana card ni bia register etia no na minority say obi a ye kwa kwotwere yendin age Ghana card mu ma ye yusu aku bi ye friend guarantor system na chese no enipa mienu osemiensa eba ebegina ho bedi ho adanse san ye nimo enimisa wote ha enimisa o ma me firi ha yesu enimisa wo ye se o ma tro edi ho adanse sampa yamzi wana wote ha yi ofiri asaman tamfoi e house number ye so enso aha no wote na ha ne ni nyina na wo etie nyina yenim no anasa wo be ma wo sofo ana lawyer bi ana bibisa obi a wo ye panyin wadwumam edu abedi wakajemu ana abedi ho adanse na no wagina so na odi aje o kana Ghana card ya yesa ade yi nyina fefefe de man krofo bebre wo manya o Ghana card afa ba ne san na electoral commission kwatena siasa afa de guarantor system wo ye firi ho no mokra na ye kan san ya Ghana card nkuto ukuta Ghana card yanze nkuta bi dia wo no wasem different me be na kai na no na minority se hwe da bi ye kan sa enye yi adenti na wo se ye ne sa ya mbema nipa bebre wo munya kwan enkonkotwere wo mudi because Ghana card nyo bia na enya bie tie no kura na bebe pie mu se sa ban kura de ka na ika wo sa ban etua na afi ensem no ayenwonwona eti Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan ane no ono na ye abato komisa wo Ghana ahwa abato so e babato mu suahuna we number 1 wo Ghana ha nei ebibrem atoye fama na ebibrem ha se amama yahodo pii wo hono mo a wo mo pa adwenkyere wo mo pa obi ama na wo mo adwene efa wo mo abato emu sakraye ho a wo mo ebefre Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan nti Ghana wo me enso ye die mu yie na ye nkura ye die yie ade a ye ne gye ho no me ye ntena ho ema sabe nkrofo emefa nko yanya ye nso mu kua ne anye gye so ne ye nkura no ade ase ye enu wo tu ye mfu yi o se electoral commission na guarantor system no enu wa nyie mfiri hwe ena wa nyie ade ase ye Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan enu na busuafo ye to aso dia na ne muama ni tua asaman ye course no na besisa minim besisa brebinom kasa mampanyin na nado danko akufuado o man nyina gya ye course no asamfa ho beka bibia wo ho asemfa no ho asanya na sam aso no de ono otin ba bia wodi ne nkui wodi wunkui a de na sene Ghana fo nyina nkui because no Ghana fo enti na oti akonwa sam mampanyin o meka bibia mfa ho yate kane mampanyin John Dramani Mahama abekasa de afasa asemi ho ama abusua wo mo ahwere wo mo de hia ba mu wa ketwa afi no wawie ntete ya wahye ne uniform eku ne yayayay oye omka be ya fa toto ho hwe ye wo banka ye wo banka ye wo nua bi anka ye wo busuani bi a anka sade wo ka ni za e na anka obeka no ana ni nyina mu wo mse mampanyin ma meka ahwe ne no e na ye nua ba ko adip sani dase we di ntwa yi ina bi mbisa se na mampanyin wa meka bi no obeka bi a de abrante na wawu no e be san bankwa mu ana se be de me o ma mampanyin enwene ne hokra ne di asimi Abusiafo ni 100.9 ena wasugwa wutie no ye worship house wabeka junction we ne nsem bebre ne ye betase ne sebese paniko na hahan ye tase ne banyansafo wate ase eti ene so abedwafo ene bi ne won besi nkonwa na kofinti amoa ya wo free MPP abusua mu wono ene ba communications directorate e wo kasoa ene ne mpotamo honorable Hawa Mavis Hawa Kumsin empesua no so a dahudie no ono ne kitamu e wo ho Godwin Mahama efri NDC abusuam ono so beba e na mia menua bema Sylvester Sapo Soprano CPP Director of Communications ono so e ba beka ye ho awie na abusiafo ye kwa homaso na ye ne yenua bema Adip Sani oye security analyst ye ne no edi nkomo kakra ede afa ashaman nia ekoso no ho pimpinten ba mu process sojani a yakum no ya enafe nia asama mampanyin enka ye ana kasa bia mampanyin enka enfa ho no ye ne Adip Sani edi ho nkomo Adip memo ha eba nita fm me mind so
Yeah.
Nempom to say.
Yeah, then you go for us. What's way?
Adom arakwa, adom ekitayen pa. Ade bi yenhwe when your first time asabio nipa bi afa kontuna se akum soja ni ana prosi ni ana Ghana ni panyini bi. Wo behwe na yesi ye hwehwemu bi ho ahwetewete yen hu bebe wo akosi. Se bi a bi si robi mu, se bi a prosi ni bi say ye mistake wo sense ye boapayo na bia wato ya betia gu romafo no so ya siba momo a omo boto omo yem na omokọ osiaga saadie wei enkosi da ben ene ebehunu se esabe nyo obi a ena wose ye boro no nyo obi a ena wose ye dinani efa sebe mfomso a obi aye ho titrufa bambo ho na ben ne esuo betwa
The pacho bisabio man tia say ye.
Adebini ameka ne se sa sojafo anase prosifo bibi ni na se omu bito a na yakoto ahye ronu ana area no a sa rehosem no ekoso ne abo won na yes yaka ho asem ana eto atwa ebi akoso ebi akwaso atwam ena nansen ya so ebi ekoso sa de no enkosi da ben ena to betwa
No, me that say they can maminchia mo tefo ampa that same way say ukaye no we enu na edi kan nyina ye ho ade a ekoso wa any ejura and so many other examples. Indeed, recently mpo a similar case of a soldier for our omuji immigration ejuma omuko ye arrest be of some so-called illegal miners are omuye foreigners omudi omuko the immigration headquarters no omusu omubuefu omusi admo this is an operation that should have been done collectively and a partnership. I don't think that involves foreigners without immigration. So I think unfortunate. But one of the ways you bet me avoid the incidents of a soldier for taking matters into their own hands to go after a whole community to enforce the laws, because local laws, any international law, collective punishment illegal. Okay, because of the actions of Ebimunti, you go and hold everybody to ransom. Now, issue way a break. I even mentioned it. Me see, let's bet. Let's mark it where water won't touch. There are close to 200 NIPA and our suspects are soldier for Chien, right? I said, look, not a single one of them would eventually be cited for the killing. And truly, and our police for Omoichibi, none of those arrested by the police were brutalized and are arrested by the military. Okay, so Omuko Panishi, very innocent people, because that many will be Kasana, see, even bus BR, shuttle workers, Koi Juma, stop and brutalized all of them on their bus. So I think, sir, if we ensure that the laws are, strictly followed and adequate punishment meted, and no a bit discouraging, because Mrano and Ye a lot of these officers have that false sense of invincibility. Homogeneous as uniform, no, certain privileges and immunity against prosecution. Secondly, I think associate for opinion for no. Coupled with other opinion for from different, security services, I think there's a need for more communication between them. Because information I war from a Shama case, I think a soldier for no because at the point they felt police was dragging its foot. And saying now almost see they be let's take matters into our own hands. But anchor communication war me sure say even if they have worries and frustrations about investigation, no omoni paying from police or mubekasa. Sort of, taking matters into their own hands. So, our operation, a clear indication of the lack of trust, even amongst the various security services.
Okay. And now, what can be said up to today? Our incident in this year, President AKWAFO or Meka Bibia and Fahona is so disappointing. At the end, the money is disappointing.
Because, my opinion, there, you are the father of the nation. And the BIA to Umadia is something that should be, concerned about. Indeed, on annual basis, according to crime statistics, NIPA to say 600, 700 get killed in Ghana, murders. So it's very impossible for my opinion to talk to all murders that happen in Ghana, but there are some areas very critical to the extent it becomes national news. National, all the main media houses, News FM, headlines, and we've seen gory images, very despicable, cowardly images over social media and TV. So, and considering the gravity of that incident, the president had the opportunity to talk to national issues, major national issues, and at that point in time, that issue, a new leading headline. On my opinion, one kashi about it. The same, on my opinion, you're very quick to talk about issues. And fear them to say George Floyd, NERD. But this is about the internal security. It was serious implications on the buying of them. Yet the president didn't see the need to talk about it. And then I see a scandalous. very unfortunate. And I think, President, the handlers, the advisors, no, should be ashamed of themselves for not able to convince the president to talk about such a critical national security matter. What it means also is, and funny, doesn't care. Ashama for they are not there because they deliberately and they choose to be there. The society there, so they would be at East Legon and our airport. And I'm Chantro. However, the fact that Omo and Shama interested Omo Nipa, they are Ghanaians. So the fact that the president too has not spoken about it can only point to one thing: consent. Unfortunately.
So na obi ka say we no on shada hu say bia benya any effect because nipa no wawie e na guys nso a yeboro wo mu yaboro wo mu awie edidi na yese mampanyi beka e de fa ho
Me part of this abio manti network no.
Ne me kan say dia ebinom e kan say mampanyi beka so so on ka so abrante soja ni wawu ya wawu awie bia ne ho a ebesa de na bankwa mu bio ena nkrofo yi nso a yaboro wo mu awie enti nanka yenya ne saa na mampanyi beka o nche da hu se bia de sesaye bia na bibi eba.
Okay, so you see the thing is you're careful because asema sa asem we betumi abre etumi ebeye din chain sa action brutalities, So what I say, because there were serious implications on civil military relations. And they be a say a soldier for immigration, customs, police for almost to mean without you and I. Even we share the principles of modern day policing as opined by Sir Robert Peel, your friend in 9 billion principles. Almost see without the communities policing to mean and policing should be by consent. And the more force you use in certain situations, the less you are likely to have the people cooperate with you. Okay, and critical say security service should harness their relationship with the military, with the civilians based on mutual trust and respect. So the security forces, the immigration, police for, ASRA for, NERD. And so, yeah, careful, a bit distorted our relationship. No, already, yeah, soldier for. In fact, the military institution is one of the most respected in Ghana.
Yeah.
Even who go abroad, we are very respected internationally. I mean, were peacekeeping soldiers, all the way in your friends in Lebanon. Rwandan genocide 1994, at that point, every country was running away from Rwanda. Ghana, there were UN contingent under Romeo Delay. Then the deputy, Kuku Anido, Papa. And, we did a lot of good things in that country. Romeo Delay, in the memoirs, he talked about Ghana's military. Okay, Liberia, resulted in the formation of ECOMOG. The first commanding officer for ECOMOG, General Arnold Queno, also Ghana. So it's a very respected institution. So the issues culminating lately, coupled with the pictures on social media and other platforms, is only going to destroy the relationship that has taken decades to build. All right. Secondly, a bet to me make a soldier for a target, or some criminal elements are opportunistic and would want to take advantage of idea ecosono. So what I say. And nipa bebre or more intelligence are almost to me from security services. They would not do it because they will start seeing the criminals as their protectors over the security services. Me call Nima time gang violence any atem no na many as a police being for you could be some questions the market woman no mun pese or mun kasa. Then one woman spoke. Yes, we hold them no na me were around because omun nim say Miss I was interested in idea omu ye obano. Omu say una okasa we told you not to talk. Why did you talk to them? Man or regret it. Then I did my own checks and I realized a lot of people in that area are feeling more protected with the gangs than even the police. So the same thing can happen in this situation. Okay. So you begin to ask yourself, why na oye ma town for why na oye minya? and now there would be a difficult decision to make. Anything a terrorist, almost gaining territory with Burkina Faso because almost to media idea government and to me, So issues of human rights violations, we need to really pay attention to it. If not, very detrimental to your brain, Ghana.
Okay, Adib, we are that's it.
Good afternoon.
For Adib Sani, a security analyst, now they say no AD and Comono, Memanti and Wasungwa Wuti high neat 100.9. Femi na the bus is Baba.
In 1961, in the name of giving us our independence as African countries. France forced the Francophone, and I hate that terminology. There is no such thing as Francophone, Anglophone. They made it up, but for the purposes of communication, I will use that. 14 of those countries, they said, in order for you to get your independence from us, you must sign this document. You thought they could have found a better name for the document. The document was called the Pact for the Continuation. I repeat, the Pact for the Continuation of colonization. We are talking about giving you independence, but sign this pact for the continuation of colonization in a different format. And I'm going to highlight some of those issues that they said you must agree to if you are going to be independent. Hello. Maybe we need to redefine the meaning of independence for the French. First, France said, you see, you monkeys, you don't know how to manage your money. We're going to demand that you deposit 85% of your bank reserves with the French Minister of Finance, under the French Central Bank, under the control of the French Minister of Finance. France is then going to take your 85% bank deposits from each and every one of you. Deposit those funds in the French stock market under the French name, and you may or may not know the returns. Today, as we speak, the latest figures are saying for every 14 billion that France invests in the stock market from Africa, they are realizing upwards of 300 billion in return. Every year in, year out, because of these deposits from the African countries, France is taking out of Africa over $500 billion. Now figure it out. For every 14 billion, the returns on the investment are over 300 billion, and they are taking over 500 billion. So in actuality, France is taking out of Africa trillions of dollars year in and year out from us poor people, Africans. So should you want to access some of your money that you have deposited with France, you have to submit your country's financial returns. And if approved, you get it as a loan. You can only access up to 20% of your money year in, year out as a loan at commercial interest rates. Your own money. As if that was not enough. They said all your minerals discovered, yet to be discovered, all your oil discovered, yet to be discovered. France and French companies have the first right of refusal. If there's anything left over that the French companies do not want, your people might have to this day. They said you will only use the currency that we created for you because you're special Africans. We call it the CFA. There was the Central African CFA and the Western African CFA, same animal. And that France is the only one that can print it for you. 1958. Fast forward, they're still printing it for us. And if you start misbehaving, they just stop printing your money. And your country's in trouble. They also said your language of instruction shall be French, whether you like it or not. That France will have military presence in your country, that your military can only be trained by France, that you can only buy military equipment from France, that you cannot have any military alliance with your neighbor, and that in the event of war, your allegiance is only to France. And furthermore, because they have military presence in your country, they can invade you without notice should they feel that the interests of France in your country are being violated. Nothing has changed. The same people who have the audacity to tell us that we are poor countries, they are taking trillions out of Africa every year.
In my own view, we cannot, as Africans, keep on lamenting, because the problem with us Africans also is that we are prisoners of sorrows and lamentation. So we say, oh, God, let's not allow God to enter into these things which we can do ourselves. God is very busy with very serious issues upstairs. He has given us minds and hearts, and we had better use them, because the divine instruction is to go and subdue the world. On our part, we have allowed the world to subdue us. Then we are complaining, God, you know, and Pastor, you are here. There are certain things that can only be solved by hard work and logic, and yet we think they can be solved by prayer and fasting. That will not happen. So my own view is we must begin to do things for ourselves. If the land needs to be worked, we must work the land. And we cannot continue to work the land the way Abraham used to work the land with the plows. We've got to mechanize. If, as people say, if Africa did not benefit from the first industrial revolution, we must benefit from the first industrial revolution. And you know, in these matters, these very serious matters, nobody invites you. You invite yourself to the dinner table. Yeah. And you get crushed the dinner table. Yeah. So that you are noticed. You know, right now, many Africans, and I say this because people are on top of the dinner table eating silent steak and caviar, and we are under the table fighting over crumbs. This is what is happening. When you see black on black violence, it is essentially, what are we fighting for? Crumbs. Crumbs. The real meal is on the table. That is where we should be. That is where the good. But you see the problem, when you are under the table, you cannot see what is on the table. You only see the bottom of the table. And therefore, the only thing you can see are the crumbs that have dropped. And I'm suggesting to us, particularly we in the political class, deliberate efforts must be made.
Why is it that African leaders haven't done anything about this deplorable situation? Well, let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, they have tried. Documented to this day, 22 coups where leaders were assassinated. France had something to do with it. The first 7, when they decided they were pulling out of the CFA and that they're going to print their own money, they were assassinated. Every time an African leader has tried to do what's best for their country, they were assassinated. Majority of them aided by France. It's a known fact. And then others, they were just mercenaries who felt that when there was a natural resource discovered in one country, they wanted to create a coup. So while the country is thrown into a civil war, they're siphoning the natural resource. We know of one particular story that had we not known about it, it would have been, oh, there we go again, the Africans. In about 25 years ago, a group of young, rich white kids were having fun in Cape Town. They found out that there was oil in Equatorial Guinea that just been discovered, and they wanted it. So they set out a plan to have a coup in Equatorial Guinea. So while the Guineans are busy fighting a civil war, they will be siphoning the oil. But they made one mistake. There were 2 planes. One was to leave South Africa, stop in Zimbabwe, pick up more ammunition on their way to hunt in Equatorial Guinea. Another plane was taking off in the Caribbean that had this puppet diaspora who was supposed to be the next president. Mugabe wondered why such young people needed such powerful ammunition to go hunt in Equatorial Guinea. In doing his research further, he found out that this was a coup in the making. He allowed them to land in Zimbabwe. They loaded their plane, and just before takeoff, they were all arrested. The ringleader of that group was none other than the son of the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher. She had to fly to Zimbabwe and paid handsomely to get her son out. The last one of those prisoners left Zimbabwe about 6-7 years ago. Had these young people succeeded, it would have been another coup. There you go, the Africans again. Such, my brothers and sisters, is the story of your Africa. They don't do coups anymore. They simply create instability. So when you hear of an instability in an African country, ask yourself, what is really going on? Because what they are telling you is really going on is just a shiny object. The real issue is over here. And you need to stop before you start being used as an instrument of your own self-destruction.
Votes cast in Ghana 2020 was 13,432,857. She says that 10 million people use Ghana card. It means that some 3.4 million use other references other than Ghana card, where their votes illegitimate and they don't undermine our democracy.
You have that law, and therefore, if people came in using their passports or came in through the window of the guarantor system or used their Ghana card, those who came in using the passports or the guarantor system cannot be classified as illegal, because at the time it was the law. Under this law, we are saying that you cannot come in through the guarantor system or use a passport to prove your citizenship.
The number of persons who registered using the vouching system and who were challenged was 15,478. 478. Mr. Speaker, today, in her speech, the chairperson of the EC is now saying that she was able to expunge, or the EC was able to expunge 40,000 minors and foreigners from the register during the registration exercise. Can she honestly reconcile the two figures for us in this house?
If you look on that sheet, you will find that 32,762 people were successfully challenged during the registration process under the DRLC. And in our records, we have an additional 7,000 plus who were challenged. And these 32 were successfully challenged because they were either minors or foreigners.
The National Identity Register Amendment Act of 2017 has made provision for the National Identification Authority to also use a guarantor system. So why are you running away from your guarantor system to embrace a guarantor system that the National Identification Authority is using?
The NIA guarantor system is more robust because they have persons who come through swearing an oath, whilst we don't. Secondly, those who serve as guarantors have their details attached to the registrant's application.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot take assurances as the basis for us to have a Ghana card. We still have time. Let them go and solve the issues relating to the issuance of the Ghana card first. Until then, Mr. Speaker, we are sorry to say that we cannot be part of that. We can never be part of that. Mr. Speaker, secondly, we are aware that the Ministry of Finance and the government owes the service provider $117 million. Aside that, the National Identification Authority themselves have said here today that they have financial challenges. The government, the Minister of Finance, in his statement said they will release money at the appropriate time. We don't know when the appropriate time will be.
First, let me also thank His Excellency the President for
for the presentation of the message of the state of the nation. But Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, there is indeed a widespread of despair and disenchantment among our people. Millions of Ghanaians are going through unbearable hardships and excruciating pains. Our economy is in its worst shape in decades. In fact, Ghana's economy is bankrupt or insolvent. We are currently unable to repay our debt. Ghana has officially defaulted in the repayment of our debt since January 2022. Mr. Speaker, yet, Mr. President, your government is failing to cut down on the size of government and public expenditure. Ghana is witnessing hyperinflation, largely because, Mr. President, your government allowed the Bank of Ghana to print 50 billion Ghana cedis. That this expenditure financed public expenditure on the overbloated government expenditure. Our position is that inflation is currently rising. Monetary policy rate is also at 28%. Ghana cedi is at depreciated by 20% in January alone. Mr. President, unemployment is exceedingly high at the record levels. And as we speak, Mr. President, lending rate is at 40%. Mr. President, our economy is in tatters largely because it is self-inflicted. Your government inflicted it on us and failed to act. Mr. President, this is your scorecard. This is your scorecard. And this is the true state of our nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I second the motion.
I was paid 230,000 as salary arrears in 2013. I'll show it to you first. And later, if you want, we can call a group of you journalists. Of course, I don't want to publish my bank statement, but I can put it before you and you look through all the payments and see if there's a 14 million CD payment. I didn't receive any such payment. And he also says that I receive privileges and perks since I left office in 2017, worth 15 million CDs. That is absolutely untrue. I receive only my monthly pension, like President AKWAFO, President Rawlings was receiving until he died. That's all I get. I pay the electricity bill for my house and my office. I pay the water bill for my house and my office. I live in my own accommodation, so the state does not pay me anything for accommodation. They haven't given me an office. I rent an office in East Cantonments. I pay the rent myself. I pay my own fuel. The state doesn't give me fuel. I pay my own domestic staff. I pay my own medical bills. I pay my own air tickets when I travel. You know, I'm traveling tonight. I bought those tickets myself, for myself and my wife. And so all those things he said are rubbish.
The presidency is not a birthright. You're working on behalf of the people of Ghana. You must listen to them. And there are a lot of people who can advise you. But you've limited it to just a few and a little amount of people. And so if you don't meet the board meeting, and that's why he's begging Germany and everybody to beg everybody so that we'll get the board meeting in April. But they too are not fools, because you cannot shortchange everybody, ask them to forgive your debt, and then 2022 to 2023, your budget goes up by 82 billion. Are you serious? So you are not ready to cut anything. And there's no way those guys are going to allow you to have the latitude to spend 15 million Ghana cedis on ties and batteries. And then you're asking them to take a haircut on their independent power producers, 30% haircut on their independent power producers and on their international debt. And then you can spend 15 million Ghana cedis on ties and batteries. I mean, it's just a comedy. This government is Jaguar jokers. And until the president wakes up and takes control, he must take control and command. You have all those people walking around who call themselves presidential staffers and special assistants, thousands of them all over the place, writing stupid things on social media.
I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion cedis, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion cedis today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the president would agree with that. Without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportion. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered.
The best station in the capital, Neat FM.
Utie oha echi ponkno. Neat FM.
Area busiafo no me no abo apa ho sema aduno enwotwe neat 100.9 ena waso egua otie no mama me makwaba
ye ni ami ni aba
bibi aboko de
bad na dem we na
iboko ese o course wa wie ana kuso den
this is the fourth my memory set fourth tertiary.
And when yes. Here?
We are LLB. We are me LLB. I'm trying to see say everything me have venture into the bigger fraternity.
Papa.
Yeah, fan. Then you see on one casaji. You coin. You see a coin. And empire. Maybe the banner your babet na hanum adanasi. So no I shall see no. Nti yeguso nkete
mate na issues no be ya hodo miensa ene na ye beka ho asem
but man meba
the person me ma chance wo si bibi she wo bo you want to bring it out
yes.
The person me ma sa be 5 minutes
no problem
na whatever is on your chest no odi ni nyina ba bonte na ye
ho ma
ba me sure fa me got to problem
no problem national issue a person made it to producer any one kasankasa enim any some of my sister stations say as dia ye yengeni efi that aspect of our economy ama eniema ekoso wo ho no emwayen the reason why I told me bia yemfa yeni nko ho ne say ehun sunsu aso no it take decades and say na ye feel ehun sunsu aso emiri bia na ya ma ye refi enu any young basic education my the way the basic education is being run and there me no say me ni se sanke you be private school obe take you on through that problem but I am in one dia akobantia the unions teacher unions NAGRAT DCT aka omanu atum till enne a honsuna ordinary citizens ne ye maye den ewo obi bisa say den na ekoso wo ho nti a medi hu nkomo ma for good 3 years ni capitation sika sasa aban ediko on tranches unse you run 3 semesters into semester bia no a tranche of capitation I say den echo nti afini nko na wie ye no I say 3 tranches na den echo yes me jitu mu se mri 3 terms
every term
bia na sika sasa echo na ye frɛ no grant no minka se aban etwem ye kufu aban mills aban mahama aban has always released it on time as such but mribiano ekemu baku mielubi which me assure some ambia mamadi hu nkomo bebre but we are me no kai for good 3 years capitation aban we release eye 1 into 3 years no eye 9 semesters and 9 terms sorry into out of 9 terms no term baku pe enye de capitation ako schools no so enye money generating or income generating institution Inti question na mibisa me hunu say. So na your headmasters na be ye magic or magicians. How are they running our schools? Because na aban say even PTA awofo na nkakani binu association ya wo ayetimi ekeka yensan no de boa school no say aban sika maya aban say mema yenjiji biom. Yes aban so de kono so de ameka aye no for 9 terms ni ba akopɛ na akɔ. So how are they running the schools? Headmasters ni suro so mbeka. Circle supervisors ni see amate se yesi yemfrɛ won circle supervisors biom. So they should forgive me and me egusu woman no. Circle supervisors no so no, how are they doing their supervision? Not and nagra CCT teacher unions no. So mo refi mo responsibility ana. Because and they are the bedrock of our education and they are the primary. Because a whole number ntimi anyina brania. Ni secondary school ni university there a waste. Because when who said you multiply 1 times 1 you will never know how to multiply 10 by 10. Anameboa. Inti only basic no. Foundation no. I know the first problem. Remember the second one. Also our basic education. Remember since aban way best the curriculum. The old curriculum. Almost the new curriculum abano. For good 3 years now. Aban intimi providing any single basic school with a textbook. With a textbook.
Ministry of Education. Almost as here to some of the schools.
Some of the schools mention the schools. Because I mean the taxes no money be say juma. It say ya can na say fee books na banamo cha. It should be evidence based. Anameboa. At least said ya be who say you say half a loaf is better than what? None. At least more shall see. But the issue of say ya shall see men who even as a journalist as you are. Untimin found some point to say suku way no modi amano. I worry. Inti madis readiness say my biama. I Ghana home common yedi. Maybe you know me metia in the name of NDC. Me can obi NTA content no. Minipa ban ne party a. Mabegina ha ama no. E na obehwede ya ebu amefo. But ontie content mesre mo say momfa mo ani ndi eti mayen. Ye pa mo chew. Me last point my biama. Enso ye adesrede a me desre the Minister of Education last week okokasa our conference of heads of secondary assistant secondary schools ase and all admonish on say schools are performing no obe close schools no. You see you reap what you sow. Untimi ndua bode enka se ukotwa ekutu anameboa nti yembisa ye ho sen so suku a ye pe no eno na yenya suku a me ko ma biama those times who read JHS now ko SHS now cut off point 25 and the call ya do I think 30 and so in the name of free SHS ma biama akwala mponya 51 a oyeden oko anameboa nti senkwala we ni na in the name of free SHS now sisa won begu me headmaster so what magic can I do? Maya ma fe modie anameboa but say if akwala ni nsua de na metimi aye as the first one two say see answer your mom 3 dem bi say ho say akade esesa ban ne di ko schools no ye TLMs teaching and learning materials and the secondary school say yengi sika biom dem bi say ho say sika esesa ban di corner headmasters no e di manage schools no eko eduane esesa ban school for ni di nutritious food ebe bi o ma dwene mu no eno bi na ban ni nuama won ye na say ye hu nuane o mudi wo mo canteen. Do you get me? I agree saying in a secondary schools no are performing very well. But yes, you too more money for no way to a transfer. Why not units of person collapse school no? As I say, as a buyer or no D and education and nimino, then make sure say Adibia schools ni here no. You provide them. So when you give them and they are not able to come up with a good output, then you have a cause to say, my mafe mwade. when the man perform me until me collapse so me last question remember man until say o collapse schools now and now me no kasi nkwala mo fi JHS echo SS the numbers at secondary school is not even able to accommodate them.
Okasa in the name of basic schools are now say
secondary schools. Yes, senior high schools. Even for everyone say both from poor. The American say, "When we fit GHS, echo SS."
I'm so kind of wa.
Look on him.
I'm so kind of.
If we fit GHS, echo SS. As we speak, there was infrastructure deficit.
Yeah.
Until should you collapse some schools? Schools ban nowadays in Kuala Lumpur. You get me? So sometimes I don't know how. Not for me to say they think and reason for such program, but and only me futu amidi tunu. They should do their part before if they want to complain on the headmaster. Because as for every headmaster, his best obey the best to make sure say he will be maintained in the school.
Headmaster Bian Sunyaya and the students are passing. Qualified. Headmaster Bian one man obey send the students be
because it's a pride of every teacher.
Yes.
Ne say the students excel.
Yes.
Do you get me? Yes. Internet that is into the some of the commentary are so annoying.
Medasi mama. Soprano. Mwakwaba. Come to say. Adumarakwa. Now say let's come you know what you mama Russia.
Oh,
let's come at
that. Just accept.
You know, say the way our structure, you know, transportation infrastructure will promise.
Our structure is it?
So, Monsieur Structure, no, but I'm one man.
Yes, it's a baby. Our corner. Wow. We share according to us.
Sure. But seriously though, I just take responsibility for being late. Occasionally, now it's me.
Sure. You comment how it is Mama making on one issues officer Bodano, a hundred and a brab on a national issues, so national concern concerning your basic education because that is the foundation of your mano. It's young show what I'm a honent in Timua, and you're more better to Munina Jara. Where you root learning and because so at the end of the day, obey university so anti-boy in him. And the issues are ye go up no so I become wasam as I say pensioner bond holders no almost no man no them no almost say a binds where you almost free more or more bond no so time or so I was a buy a tria mom 2 times the second time then you know buying first one a seat second one a 20th February then you know a buying entry and farm more. Kane EC boss, Dr. Kwajo Afarijan, or also the Nano Atumobi, a warning to the Electoral Commission. As a woman showing as a guarantor system, no, woman and scrappy and free honomo, woman fa enya juma because and no so eka who be more eboa, and my yenya nipa bebre woman identity. And the beyond no, Ghana card na Electoral Commission eka wasem no. And you be already 18 years. I also call register the to about 2024 and a Ekita Ghana card nipi. It do ma sa guarantee system no. Omo fa nya adwuma ma omo nyi free mu. Ombe ye free mu a omo ntwen kakra ma wo ho time. Obia nya bia wie no. Then there will cause to complain na omo a complain. Adib Sani or a security analyst we ye ne di komo na no ka bibi efa mampanyin na dankwa kufuado ashama incident ye see ye choka yen kwambra yen yese nyina den tb bia say ye a Facebook war cra statement bi ana bibi no de akwakoto no mo yese bia wo kasa wo baabi en wakoboso ana bibi che say mampanyin ka hwe as won te say yete sa akoso no en wo che say wo di mampanyin ho yaw e wo sa ade no because a national security issue. Yeah, as the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, no, and was a same way, Kamampenyi, at the statement, every Jubilee Bankesium Abba, and Nasimpo on mounted platform Binokrano, and can uncommented on it, but Nina up to today, Kampenyi, and Kahu Shay, Wayne some do and net a way, Yababa Brobroso, na Yahunu baby, a sign at the Bondehono, a Brano.
I mean, show and if I chance no the chair, Ghana for you and CPP for you and President Excellence President Akufo-Addo. We continue to wish, say, at least if nothing at all, a miracle should happen, so that he can do a better job than current performance. in our interest. No, but Mahama, no all kinds of schools, just a brief hit on it. So I won't say Ghana for a drew leveler. I was say Ghanaians, no, especially the youth, no. So I was say, Mama ye move beyond President Akufo-Addo, sir, President Akufo-Addo, President Mahama, bipolarity, no.
Better move beyond that.
I was here to me a move beyond that in our politics because let me share said the entire decade of 2010 to 2020, no, it was all about President Akufo-Addo and President Mahama. And I'm for baby, and we look set. So say we see NDC for come now we see President John Mahama and come. I can't word be hubris.
This is the second time you're using this
one. Yeah. HUBRIS. You see President Mahama Kasa highly hubristic. I said you are president Navy and I say my lectures Ghana for how to go left and right. But Nansiana President Mahama, no your president went to me and Fianco baby. And I guarantee Ghanaians say, Oba, after 6 months, no, Obaka say I didn't you want to say the city and then another year noon. Nanti the year called 2028. Not just the entire 20s, Mr. Mahama and his best friend Nana Akufo-Addo. And to youth, Mumian tries to move beyond the era of these two gentlemen. They put us on a road to nowhere. Baby, we. Okay. I'm Pana Ghana for yes, we will wallow in misery and poverty. We'll continue to do that. Now, Obana enka miminya enka and just briefly. Now me feel say constitutional reforms na pese ye no. It was say president in the performance no. Your man benchmark to something. Ain't me yes situation say president it me betna akonya so. Now we try F just say last I know we are no akwaji full ex gratia. Now I give full pension.
And no free him betom.
Oh, say I know you by the way conversations now. Answer
because Mahama said that be catch them.
Oh, okay.
And I be one I'm on my.
Okay.
It's me catch and say me man 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes mu na oba beto.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Let me go into later.
Pensioner bondholders, former EC Dr. Kojo Afrejan on this new Sunny Adibo on President Akufo-Addo's refusal to talk about Ashama incident. AKWAFO with the chassis.
Yeah, me feel saying Dr. Afrejan the most important. We had listening as well. Actually, it is at the very heart of our democracy. So democracy now, it is based on universal adult suffrage. Say, ubi already 18 or qualify or citizen no. Ubi timi ako register. Na watimi ako tuaba at the polling station to choose the leadership and the manifesto directions of this country. So, Obama said this is the third time na in the first instance no Dr. Afrejan extra paper about daily graphic mo. It was a full page expose. So make I see the home komo ha. So now Dr. Afrejan no me feel say at this time no it is reasonable and fair to say we're proven how to be a patriot of Ghana. So I say no or a statesman. Despite so be no perfect. And I think say his and it's just a perfection and yet only 100%, but now number 53 near the bad. Only impression but he's an authority on the electoral processes. So I will Kroma especially. So and he has international renown. Just say ni dinner do actually because of ni dwumadi no. So enti sa wo hwe said you see on mama no na ni nimdie no any said amaman so amanfo wa ewiase mu nyina agina tum na ono ani fie asem odi a na o see pay close attention to it because our vested interest as a citizen of Ghana the bushafo nyina free Ghana it is a ye no me na esi Ghana yi a ebo ono ankasa and ono kire say guarantor system no nka yen kipu so at least for the time being So me a position now Dr. Afarijan hold no. I feel say that is the right position to hold. So because the reality is say krom hanum no. In fact, you need make us say efficient registration system for political party electoral processes. My means is to be so you need efficient system a capture electoral processes so in fact say if I'm not mistaken na National Identification Authority for say over 2 million cards for abeye a war munchen still omuntumi deliver so in that regard no the Ghana card and anka voter ID card na and yede to abana then in that regard no that is a massive disenfranchisement of the Ghanaian people. What I say, not just a shim omo kokomutia fri omunsem anisa. So what I say, and that's what I'm saying. Say the systems, and here we are talking about. Say if you listen to Dr. Professor Atefua, you would get the impression say we are running a system which is superior to some of the systems in Western Europe, near America, money adi. So what I say, but then at the end of the day, the bottom line is saying over 2 million cards ego honuma yentim farmer and AKWAFO. Which means he said the entire system has actually failed. 2 million is a rather high number. What I say, and fairly crowd, then it's got massive bugs that need to be removed. So, the American say under the circumstances, based on this little, small, tiny, bit of the problems accumulated at the National Identification Authority and the Electoral Commission. So I feel say the Dr. Afarijan Kano, it makes common sense, if nothing at all. A common sense say card na mo 2 million na mo dem man crofo no mu hu no afi mo pese no ye de koto aba no so na say two things: either the government is not aware of what is happening, which wouldn't be surprising because everybody knows that the New Patriotic Party is really not on top of the subject. What I say, every subject, the economy, everything else. What I say.
Oh,
there be about cancer. Who said no?
The way I can say every subject.
And I said currently no. Then on here currently no. Because for the most part, who said me say me yina nadwa. Who said me started crime bomb man. So me yina nadwa. You are my president. So I say, and there have been occasions I've talked about the fact say, despite my name Nukrana American say, despite Bibiano, Nanado government 1 year idea crown with me a free SHS. So and say a takrade habon why you makakra. So I say, into why BB 200 person free SHS no na me who say Mahama earlier on crown would be home come. Meaning perfect, but trust me, man, it's a great beginning. What I say, into Nana government no one idea about Kokran, why free searches. Joba Manusi, the American say, I think say a statement now I'm making any item of proof, evidence now me are to a punonosono. It is self-evident, it speaks for itself. The National Insurance Authority has openly confessed through their chief executive, Professor Atefua, that they have over Atefa, forgive me. But I know the name Atifa. Some can say Atifu, and Atifu answer.
Atifa, that's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Atifa.
Okay. And I make us one out to the Numutu. So our card and bear 2 million. It's in Kiakoto about next week, and I just say in other words, they have disenfranchised over 2 million people. And I ask myself this question: is it a strategy by the New Patriotic Party to disenfranchise Ghanaians by shifting them to the Ghana card, of which they have over 2 million in their custody?
I don't think so.
Or because we are very, very suspicious group. I don't think
so. Soprano,
okay,
thank you very much for your submission. Mamema Minuabema Nana Kofinti Amwa of the NPP Akwaba Nana. Akwaba.
Just Miniaba.
Nempom Jisai.
Adomo. That's for so much.
It's almost so
much. It's almost so much. Right to suffer, it is now count. Hospital.
No pay grant, na me boss who di home come say kaswa for
MPB say ya.
Say omulusu
yen lusu
no. Some be
how to assess
because all the development are
that's say one kasa nim na testify ra odis adwumadie no fefefe enya no nko a enya no nko a oba ma ura fi ba ko no last year odi ni birthday no na ya maka so a Central East Regional Headquarters.
Oh, okay.
Police
headquarters.
Police omuni odi na ombe ko tena mu to me ko share millennium. No share bo say as the birthday no obesi regional headquarters. Ama the police institution no. General all rounds no. Share baby and pempen so adu. Na me gina ho na me hwe level a adu na the number of rooms no say o pompa yesi nyanko.
Wey oba ya santo.
I say next year the birthday ni be say dru so no na wa wie na wa frema me bia AKWAFO
meba dodo demo madia ba ko ball
sanitation kam kram beka o se ne empanifo assembly na trase yes remo na trase officer church do unsi form so anso
ine donso
ye ne ebetumi bia se ne be ya ho bet ankrankwere nso ana me dede bia o kan na me de se yensu ye wo responsibility as citizens and now me will be the videos between the mama na that to obi park in the car home matching where you the ball and to overhead in chain kwa
wow some of pay watchdogs
yes so that MC is coming up the MC you have taken it on the MC is coming up with a watchdog committee on Belgium and Joe and home matching that's all these people yeah boy home de pa na yesu ni e ban bi so say timamofo no so wa enti me de say me say
mani wie na me be kwa mama so
enti me de say wan kasa woni mu say obatampa ono abo me bi say komisi bodwuma me ba no na me nua mahama e obade bi e ha no e ha wa enka to your research e wo e den oko kan ya se textbooks and supply we are smart now say oh what is your supply we no kan they are supplying poor and can it FM there was nka mote na nka menso mete enti ono mahama enti your supply the this is not there okay me do ko July 2022 and only graphic page about your mongo graphic page online mame government distributes second batch of textbooks to schools across the regions graphic online July 2022. Na ya chiro say am packing kind. Obetrans na unya mic so ani man kasa tra entumutra engu uhu ani masesa. So I've given the keep quiet and then check on your phone. Don't worry. Just check on your phone because o man wan research bi na betugum sa amanyo sem aja party gunti when your radio be be gum sa na e fa your party ye. Yo. You see ade me den say obi ana odisu na the vice president yere ka kire central region for say common talk ye mamu talk ne ye mamu talk tna and no so be collapse school me dey ana me science them say na me dey e bia okotena fie no sebe wosua de so me dey okita isa aya na ye me dey ben aya na monkai enti yen ko topic ni so
beda senana
topic ni so
mama
mami
ala check
ai
Oso wankata wajia. Oso okra ayo wa. When you good time him. Mama. You see, I quite remember some time ago, as part of good educational policies. As I say, one child.
Still, how does you know education?
There be no. I say me you see one child. As I say, kole biano. Utiminya math, science, English textbook, which is the EMS. So some time back, now schools are not even single textbook in the world. Under Mills Mahama Emisata, we were able to make one child one EMS book. If I can remember what I said, what I told you, said, if they have distributed, don't. Even if they have distributed it, we are talking about quantity now. No, wait. Oh, you can only justify the quantity with the number of pupils under the basic school. Oh, let me talk. You see, we have gone past this kind of communication. In terms of why your communication at check. By now, I expect a kind of maturity in your communication. I beg you, mommy. You see, one attitude.
When I give you the chance,
how come since you buy any biana one more? Mommy no go to work as I know no.
Why then?
the okotu tuo no suban me se ne suban ni bia no kita no so oyeni aid patapa suban say ya o patapa suban say ya no odi kotu tuo no no and that's an case you see the eti honum region it's not out of that act no munya region police region am suban ni mami come any man you see mayenko on the substance of the issue man you see this EC this CI a very important issue man my MPP NDC CPP all the political parties because Ghana born there man untimi metena hanom se wo ye wadwuma Ghana born there wow ton ade wo dwom untimi nsori anopa nko dwom se wo ka koton ade ana me boa a very important issue this CI border on so many things but melemetim me hu ewo miensa Paku and a Dr. Afarijan Ekai, and I'm very happy say Soprano attested to the fact say you can't electoral matters in Ghana or even in the world. Afarijan a authority into Okasa and Crawford value his statement because of your authority. This is the second timer Okasa about this CI in relation to say yenyi guarantor system on the inferior. And this has always been the position of the NDC and some political parties and some Ghanaians. Adi Afarijan Kanye, which I am very happy in say, Jen Adukwe Mensa call parliament. Or sit Nibuta into your person or rely on NIA card and say, NIA guarantor system and a robust anameboa. Or say a robust. Because I don't know who could guarantee or mude uswe in front of commissioner of oath into ohu and no say a robust than ono robust than ono nidiano. You get me? And of Arijan say usu wa kwenya say ubetimi adapt that procedure now also deny that robust and I'm a boy because it's a matter of say over presenting budget that parliament approve say a few way there no the person made the commissioner of oath echo each center now be guarantee what's where oath because that is the oath system ujina so kase NIA DNA robust so it's a proposal emribia yaka because unim we are seeing yenyini ko yenim ye mayechi nti say 4 years ago now your registration na u refuse say who the commissioner of oath bebem na nde uhu ni say ehu behia say enkrofo mpeso mo guarantee man enkrofo no ebe swear in front of commissioner of oath you just have to adapt. That is all. That is all. Even the last registration under the CI 91 the men signed the CI 91 echo parliament and I'm a boy we registered here and they told us that register they have compiled and the best. And I'm a boy. I'm going to say the best. I'm going to do about we president and AKWAFO no. Yes, that election was the best of the election we have had in the country so far. It's the idea one kasa will say the best because when I say the process is leading to new registration now. What can say foreigners? I want that register him. Did the omba beyanu ombe minus. And the foreigners are then if him and I'm a boy. That is what they told us. And then they are talking about minors again and foreigners again. What kind of life is this? I don't know running Ghana to say Ghana your omuchemba and hall. Then you will get MPP people supporting this. Meaning you better now here. Woman akwenya or be supporting the Mensa from A to Z. All because omuni the Mensa all out. I'm making sure said they will disenfranchise citizens because and now performance. FFFFR. Somebody be transparently they are going to lose. Until the only option is say yenye way near from preventing Crawford. Who the OTM yabu or Casabu or best supporting BIJ Messiah. But when you just common sense, Munfa that old system and shame. And now Dr. Kojo Afarijan Eka, which me supporting 101%. because NIA is a different institution. Ukaya America registration by Eslousu. Now all force one say, Omu issue cast in terminal. The CU, I'm not saying, the head of NIA. I can say, or see they don't work under their instruction or with their instruction. And I'm a boy. And no more instruction on the Juma because I'm your authority. And I'm process no, and you one time something, and forever and ever. So they are not in the rush. And the man there registration card registration system there at on you get me. Not also because in relation no in relation don't worry in relation to the fact say at a particular time say one register no you better check your card mu and then where is the deadline. How many times have you been postponed it? And not feasible. Mr. Not feasible because there is no way Obia beti menya the Ghana card because I did say biano people 10-18 and people 10-18. The next point, madam, I about the registration center, no problem. Yeah, can say, madam, Usha Ghana, yen kind of environment and system we have. Now, okay, say, obi biya fi ankra fi enko district centers emboa. Mehu say yeah, say the electoral commission at its own discretion will open additional centers. But question I maybe say, we leave that to the discretion of the electoral commission. Then what the actually say Obama constituency on determine whether a center wahana se ma center nyede and wahanum. And we are saying say ye were constitutionally located centers. Amribia ye de to aba. Parties ni na ye den adia tum over the years. I didn't tell you use that long standing centers. None is never try and say Obama constituency because you want let's say 500 polling stations he can decide say so long as this limited registration is concerned or be only 2 centers because it is at her what discretion. Until the year can say centers are used to the 2 aba every year registration. It is at the doorsteps of the citizens. And no sorry anopa jaria. You just walk to the center and register. But at the time, our person can for a in this difficult economic system there.
Thank you.
Until the end, you can register and you cannot vote.
Thank you.
Wahima. Matief Yoto. And someone can. 1 point. Say electoral commission. IPA committee. On artisan Ishia in a Jumadi home. We are remember. 1. 2. Tushinama, and boy is yet. But about who my muha. 1 to me, about 1 home, no one near many, or that come out and Friday. I just, oh no. Yes, sir. That's the second one. Third one, constitution is saying say obi bia to me control electoral commission. Say wo musa. That's it. You will for the giant. Then I yes sir. The bus stop no. Is there? San ebo. Then bang na ye kan ho. Abiri bia ye beto aba na electoral commission no atra ye bia. Ye IFN no CI. E de beto ashebedwo. Abana me pese me to no ensese ya me dey bani sense actually bi wo obetwero wo mu na oya ade to the point say answer do ban ma she bedwa mu no no ne parties ni nyina transfer IPA committee so that to me no agi o mu nyina adwenkere ye mfa nto dwa the NDC amanyoko since 2017 for IPA committee so mu nko bi da me shame this ni bi no ka yesi ho asem a ba bi a chechire no no o se wo nko na ye gya wia na ye dede o do you want untiasie. If this is not incompetent, even in opposition now, what else? Baby, just feel free.
I read somewhere say all the other political parties agrees.
Maybe we la say. Me patro me say we la say me bobodi na ma no. E bobodi na ma we la say. Me say yes. No, their statement is here. Maybe here ma we la say. Epacho relax it.
Easy as well. Ask.
So we don't know what's happening there. Now, only my dear Mister no. Idea Mister no so they say. Yes, you some bomb or say Okwai Park we are. Or map political parties in a minute. The minute you go in this office, I don't imagine no mass I receive. And they want go. Which the go kwa udinima. Ndika wan call the bow there. Fefi akwana man go to me kind. Oji we are. No bet now no frame media. Now we be discussing yama ye political parties no. Yako share that to so uncle no. No, Pacho. Relax now there no ma no mama CPP. I don't know CPP done also. I don't know CPP done also you know. Yes, I'm on CPP. I don't know done also. Allow me to flow. So uncle. The truck commission in Shaba. Me say we dem penny for koye. No more fair no more church. I'm your one my dear me there. Yes, he say, obey your dear friend of continuous repetition. If free and echo, the massive judge to moi, the cotua bar. Yam bought Obia voter ID card in Gubiamo. Intia got to about 2020 no. The voter ID card voter number got to any now, and when you be used to a dear to about a brainy a baby auntie. Maybe no say I do the Dadano. Then register beam. No mum. O baby akonyana to ho abere ne abere bia obi a wadi mfie du wotwe bia no unyanya du wotwe ya raise office na den ekoji voter right ID card se o pese baba unsa bato enyo hye no hye nti o jova for my mu a omonto aba obi afo omonko court o hye
na say confirm me tie dey wo kan ase a in this specific period in this specific time say be from this period up to this time I say we register.
Yes, na say ne. Omo ju samra wetu mu a na nne di 18 a. Only take my Ghana card. Go use your office bia o me peso aso.
Unya bia uni Ghana card ni bia.
Thank you. Very good question. Nti no na ma e se bedwam for. Both NDC and MPP MPs. Eto nsa frɛ Kenatefua. A o hwɛ NIA so say. Ye yi si peso ye ne beti nim say ya de pa. Now so eminase po bi wo ho because uni Ghana card na obeye den e no say no kre we were backlogs wo ho na backlog na nya bo apayo eyeka aye de suppliers nti say enye sika kotua wetima print card na ye nya sa problem no bi na make say kura no Ministry of Finance I release this scam me a wakotua and I can say this on authority enra kasoa ye da betu dwa say for 2 years 3 years ebesi ne wa o card aka mu bia no the general office never do card. But when you know, I know, a Juma. Idia Caswadia and Martin, so be say almost they are printing in the Momagia. Into say, Konya Kojina, Mezaka Megana Kada, went to Kabio. This is a mediating year. I'm a Megana Kada. I walk into UC office.
It's a basse be assassi, a yegitum and na fencing. Me di 18 me nya me Ghana card ma ko register metimi akoto aba me den
ntubenya question ye wa nya ye betu se bisane say unya nso me pacho unya o time a fanya nya de be ye aha ye build CPP wa ye can on my possible I'm very serious so it is that ubenya I say cap and so fa wo we be ka say cap no it's half full half empty questions in the other way around. And I be assure you on my sebedum who appear before my sebedum yes you appear a chair or mining na card need you betumi go man abro so ya pe bia na be den aka my assurance anonto then how be
na ne aden na omontwen ma ta sika ewom na na ka ewom no aban entu ya emma NI no mo Pentecost na fe nkofo dodo no anya ne ehunu se bia district by district no this would be aha 95%. Almost like aha, it be 85%. Who say be a crabby na keke mu no. But to me, I am mop up na those people no. Almost said to me, na year force were really at the end out.
Don't tell me what
the Russia go be.
I don't know what I know. She's new. Effort to say Ghana niya or pepa or bisan I know I make catch it say. Now you know ye be bosom ye twem no unsunsan so aba na ne ka so ya na to say wa 2 years 3 years ni o kada kam nyina no fa o abeje o kada ya print Ministry of Finance aban I release this kana man.
Say kaswan ma sha.
Me dey na anya mate no. When I meet me aka. I'm no me come sales meeting no. And they make sales meeting. And also you say
what can me so ye be ma yen report
me da say. To question no. The year no da. The year no dia. Enko yanim. How bia. Emu e wo say oman no. Ye hwe say enna ye be dwane na so. Otimi issue card na mai. No man never done so no. Because air continuous in it, no pressure. A babada NI so no, a less. Unlike first, no be a pegana gidi no. That traho because then I say we're printing over 17 million that. I'm a Ghana for me boy. Pressure shed anymore. This is a mission anymore say. It sounds like continuous. I'm already 18 years in Kwa. Any on way be at 20 years, but no money or minimum 20. In this estimation, you know, or we say a few biano about any pay 500,000 penny say. Almost by across Ghana. And yet, dear pressure. Me near me there. I'm Yama. Only tell me there no. Hey, let me tell you, continue registration number that bano. I'm Yama. Bam and peso. Ghana. There be registration and to qua pressure. The day you want to salary just registering and sign your credit. I'm one say I'm amanyofo bi enwen kokan se ye pe o man puntuo no man kan ko enti sas live fun an se live fa so ni so ye ko sekeke de voter ID card no yisi se wo twam na ye mo yisi abaso ni ye mo ense ma no se live ye ko sa 4 years bi na tam man sika ye ko ye card foforo ni say adaje na media reporters ye man be ma tie video na pato na jo woduro he 4 am obi di boasa live obi di akonya besa live ye kano yes is a twam tin time afraid from 2020 eba no ye register na intact and no say ye add up obi wo na ye free mu ye add up na ye koye nim fe we and save your mind and save wo and save me and save political parties ni nyina ye sikasem and ya daje we mo yisi abaso wo de no to chen a and save for ben na ye yi ano question obi san say yisi say ebisana na shebe dwam mo offices na bi wo ha e wachire ankwankwan na e ba mo office abeya a ebia na transport won sem na wo yi ano say we say you duru ho na ye hwe ne say wachire a e be use your description near their ben ankwankwan no to ko bisa wo simple etimi de unza metimi start na ko say we mi hu ni tini ko unza metechire mu no akoma to ye ma me hu say wa home say is ni nyina edana kwa so edi ma no besi hwe political parties e call isiko mo kwadi tu mu enu nie amembo boso nchiro kwa na hu say me bono tawkra che say ama wa to aso ama ya no mofo yi ja omo na mo kwanche yo political party yi abefam political parties yi nyina out of 24 political parties no be bi de we enipa anko NDC for pe me hu NDP wa ha me hu PNC wa ha me hu LPG wa ha me hu GCPP wa ha political parties nyina include 24 political parties let me phone 24 political parties and the general secretary say minute no dey no on
Nana Kofi and Siamwa
yeah oba me patro we dey nka me person ka me ye oh guys excuse me
Bacho soprano is on the floor
please oba me patro yeah tie say oh
mo na me bisa say omo ka iPad
yeah we go to
the last time we meet here
oh you see I'm not directly the guy going to IPAC. What I say?
No, ma, me briefing party executive. So we are director of communication. So you should be in the know.
Sure. Hence, you call IPAC meeting. What I say, but the papa will be in a propaganda now. I'm not the IPAC person. No, I'm not going to call anybody. You are doing propaganda. Hold on. What do you mean? WWW, your own canon is not accurate. Don't come and foist your.
I'm not facing it.
Propaganda
and agree to it.
Your friend is saying. Yeah, or the saying.
Do you know?
Yeah, ubejina baba ya me 1 2 3 ubeta ube friend ya. What propaganda ubejina for mo here. Let me get to my point. Let me get to my point. So WWW the omoya no tie oba. The omoya no ho. Ye friend be in politics poison pill. poison pill. So brofo na make pill na I say dry nom. You know,
I poison.
Poison shim. Thank you. No more the doko no. Afifa fa ho. And one person mo de ehye ye minimum. Epianso. So by ya chemo and new patriotic party for with this CI no. So excuse me. We all know the direction from which the EC is coming from. You understand? And now we appreciate the fact that it's coming from the direction you know I'm talking about.
I don't know anything.
Okay, see, I know the better one. Let me rephrase. See, I know the better one. It contains a poison pill. So I said, let me explain it. Now, so poison pill, ne woman, the removal of the guarantor system. No. So I say, inti asemna omodi aba, see, I know the better one. And yen ni na da honum no, and I apro. So I say, Mama no see obema, Mama no see. No. What I'm saying is that of course, no. Yem penny for no mudda or mine no so. It's not so much say be on person mudi or mine demo as much as I be more peculiar interest, be more special interest be. And we are saying say or mine yen na ye no mudi mo see I never to hono. Ye share ni ye poison pill. A womb. Ye pesi ye frim. E ya ba defufuo no ma o ti tifrim. So, and that poison pill is remove guarantor system, no. And the reason why we don't support the removal of the guarantor system, two. One, hold on. One, Mama Nusi. Let me excuse me. Hold on, man. Let me speak. Excuse me.
I'm confused.
Well, keep on being confused. I did 1, 2, 3 way. Mr. Uncle School.
Is this
No, I'm not here to listen. Let me tell you something.
Don't worry.
Let me tell you. If you don't stop your behavior, you will not be able to get a wedding because I can do this all day. It's brown one say. And I made you say, "Yeah, feel na me do be class 1."
So brother Faso.
What was you bedroom? I say 1, 2, 3. I say, and I will do same to you. You keep on taking my time. It's your body. American is a poison pill. No woman, any guarantor system no pays for you free money.
Okay.
So here we are saying, say, the CI is not necessarily wholly bad. Why can we not? Say, a parliament is here, no. So why can we not remove the poison pill, which is the guarantor system? No more person remove free money. After all. As Mr. Professor Ken Atefa himself confessed in Parliament before Ghanaians, over 2 million cards ego honuma minia air cancer in air cancer. It was because they didn't have money to begin with. That is a completely unacceptable excuse to the voter. So assuming said the Ghana card idea de to So if you come and tell me say Ghana and Yesika for some reason. And then that is why we need the guarantor system, to back it up. So now, in any case, what is to show for political expedience, maybe a new patriotic party or the National Democratic Congress for that matter will not utilize the system and say, card, and Ghanaians 2 million, you are more card because it's Kenny. But this is a precedent. You understand? And so what we are saying is that the CI is not entirely rotten. But there are some parts that need to be removed and probably amended, including this talk about the guarantor system. Now, propaganda. It's not because you see, the reality say, by the way, why is the New Patriotic Party so adamant about doing it at this time? What you say? Why are they so adamant? Because of in the history of this country, whenever voters, and I'm speaking from the perspective of a voter, we know that whenever a consequential, now once a party be official to be lose, once a no person or a brofono, he wants to jigger the electoral system or person or also no down. As if it's not broken, don't fix it. There is nothing wrong with this electoral system we have in position. Indeed, it is the president of Ghana himself, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, who talked about a certain famous victory using the processes currently existing. What are you talking about? If it's not broken, don't fix it. Electoral system. Now, in case some will be a improvement now, then listen to Ghanaians, especially eminent, qualified, patriotic Ghanaians like Dr. Afarajan. Oh, don't come and sit here and tell me about any other person, electorally speaking, apart from Dr. Afarajan, because we all know, say, in as much as the current electoral commissioner is on top of the job, Dr. Afarajan is on top of it all.
Soprano, me miss how we. Some must CPP, most of IPAC. It in me besides the last time I'm McCoy. Decision by and I'm take here on this CI.
Well, I think, I'll come back to you on that, if you please. Yes. Okay. Thank you on that. So that I can give a more comprehensive answer.
We're going to further and better particulars on this issue. Sure. I said, because me review or baby said, political parties agree to what? And I also so all can't weigh a different form. What you are saying and what your party is saying, the same thing, and I say a different issue.
I'll come back with an official document to remove all ambiguity.
Mama, what baby, I wrap up.
List of other political parties.
There be.
Tell me, you have a man from on it. Make me time, mamma. On board, near a CPP woman. Oh, moi, Masoriaco. List no bobo na na different insane. Na bobo, near almost a CPP woman. For my major time.
And then I made education textbooks the other day.
You see, let me take my time. He has not been briefed. I'm going to brief you. They went. I don't want to do that. The CPP rep sitting here says you are using the recommendation. What did I say? Don't put words in my mouth. What's me?
Can you please keep quiet and listen to me? 20. This one is my news GH and they publish here. And they are 14th March and then 14th 2023. NPP IPAC fully backs EC to use Ghana card for votes. Peter McMenu, the 2016 campaign manager for President Nana Akufo-Addo, has said IPAC has thrown its weight. Has thrown its weight behind the use of the Ghana card for the 2024 election, saying it has support of the majority of the parties. According to the former New Patriotic Party national chairman, the EC has consulted the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, and all, but the opposition NDC have agreed. We revealed IPAC met thrice without amidst the boycott of the NDC and took the decision. IPAC has resolved and agreed the use of the Ghana card as the sole method of identifying citizenship for registration purposes, and at any IPAC meeting, the NDC are invited, but they have decided not to come, he explained. He advised those opposed to the CI to galvanize a two-thirds majority to stop it, saying NDC is always opposed to measures to help build a credible system. With this, why must it lie in the mouth of former national chairman of the NPP to come out with this? And then every EC now Akachia Masebia. This is the decision.
Or can I say MPP rep on the IPAC and the media now report it? Okay. The media can go ahead and find out from EC.
So don't worry.
Give us our minute. NDC will minute. Political party will minute. Yeah, you will be. I'm a political party, including CPP. Now, why that to say in brief you on your own?
Yeah. The issue is that Nkurofo claiming to be other political parties. In parliament. On a press conference. Say they support what EC and I'm a boy. And like say so CPP kasa other political parties in Juana. I don't know all list I catch say. Yes, on the press conference.
Menka press conference.
Look at the iPad there. Yeah. And you see, and I make sure say question I will be surprise no say. Do they attend IPAC? So let's leave that one. Manjama, you see what kind statement MPP chairman Aka. Let me also say on authority say the first time they invited political parties on this CI draft. Yes, it is true they invited the NDC. Wait, the rep Ekoye. that day, meeting you and muscle. Hear me very well. Oh, and last year. It was last year. I can't give you the exact date.
Last time I IPAC meeting here.
On the CI draft. Oh, Christ of Nazareth. Madam, he Makachira will say, Suban way, Mustation is Suma Suban way. As Susin Suban way. Me see, Omu, I invite you, no, Yakoi. Meeting and muscle. As some of Moka and say, so much schedule meeting here. They will let the political parties, Madam, then. And on Baba invited the NDC, the only God knows. Just for us to realize, the CI has been drafted. The CI has been drafted. And I'm telling you this on authority. Things are CI way by every NDC official. Yaka same way. When we say EC has disputed it before. Who bet me a free EC official? Be a bisanasima mekande. The first one, yes, I'm to fraying. Yakoi, meeting and muscle. Before we realize this year has been drafted. Say now again a bunny and a show team with the MPP or person or the next about to then what again? And we won't allow them. We won't allow them. That's the first one too. The many will say this CI and a novelty Makawaha are any continuous registration air bar. It is not a novelty. The last CI 91. As amended by CIO.
Don't quote me. I've never used the word novelty. You are quoting somebody. Quote rightly. Don't quote me. I've never said that. That's a novelty.
The Obi catch you say. When the first time I ever continuous registration. What the Bible from me?
That's the first time. I never said first time. I never said first time.
No, can say.
I never. I'm here. I have not said first time. Mr. Continuous registration. I am happy.
Yeah, you then say.
Yeah, continuous registration.
I wait. Continuous registration. But that means I
am. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Shame on you.
Say
listen to yourself.
Look at the
why are you putting vocabulary in my language? Well, also say first. Now when you first left you all. Don't speak.
Maybe not me you hear me. The idea wo that's it. Oba affirm idea na. Ubeka say idea me den say PI way at the continuous registration ebeba. Is that what you say? No, you tell me. No, you tell me. Idea any ho. Now obi dey ba and Obaka say the me den say ya me nua e dey ba no the see ya ntwan man mrindu by go to say it is a novelty you are talking about. Now tell you too much. You are too deaf and dumb. Massa, deaf and dumb. Here, CI 91 as amended by CI 126 made a provision for continuous registration. Tell me if I'm lying. You don't let us say where you fufura, Emma Weniaji. Akola ye dadao. The thing you are reading, you don't know. Because CI 91, I'm making provision for continuous registration. Into bisa who say, then fufura na CI we edeba. Na any the other one. Into ya there. Can read. You are educated, don't be spoon-feeded. Read. Into na me this CI. I plot to steal the next election.
How?
Michelle said, idea assistant. I have all the 3 CIs here. 91, 126, and the new one. Idea assistant will move pet. And it's a omuyi, the other requirement, you know, a film. Now omu meki the Ghana card, only the sole identification card. All content A to Z are the same. Are the same.
Why lies be on person?
What's it?
Find now, no,
you see, the issue is that Machela will say, and then they say, Minia, upon
me, almost disenfranchise a lot of people.
They are disenfranchising people so that the benefit to come to them. Let me tell you, last time, I think after
how can the benefit come to them? You don't know.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. It is on record. The NIA ABA 2 registration centers, our Ashanti region and our Eastern region, which is taking care of this for example,
Piso koso no.
Oh, this fast system, how will I even say it? Oh, I've forgotten the name. And you see, I listened to Atefa after Oko Parliament. I was City TV. And I'll say, I'm going to be additional 2 centers. Our Ashanti and Eastern. They asked him, are they in a air or hope? And I'll say they are in the process. I agree. But the question is that, why do you start from Ashanti and Eastern? Why na me no say the densely populated region ayakra? Anameboa. In the important say Accra ni Kumasi na nipa wapa. Why have you left Accra? Because Ashanti and Eastern are MPP stronghold. So they are adding the centers so that they will get a lot of people getting hold with their NIA card. No MBA ni na krono na MPP for somewhere and who allow them. My last point, let me notice. You see the issue of say me other than no akola na ye dada na ogitum. Say NIA I assure you say Ministry of Finance etua won sika omode so kan ye. That's a ministry of parliament. E me na o sha se o kasa no. All ka che parliament say oni ye kasa yi. Alert about the phone so wo hwe ya. E kire say omotua. NDC requested for proof. He couldn't. But let me tell you one thing. And yet Minister of Finance ka che say yanko IMF. And then you need IMF. And I'm not sure bondholders.
Yes, that's how I'm going to COVID.
And I'm not sure bondholders. Are more answer to the new DDP. No, say when their bonds are matured, they will pay. They have failed them twice. Into when the minister, the assurance can be relied on. He's full of lies. Until Sami Nube who say, indeed, you cannot hit the NIA account. I'm the Sefata Air Kosono. This finance minister no bia. We have to trust because washabo bebrea. On the su amasu. Inti mama mi nua air like. The SME ni ye ne say. E say it me force NIA say. So indeed, you tuya. You should just show proof. Because there's no trust on this government. That is all.
Mama mi sa na kofi e wa ha say ayewa so west go on NDC chairman. Mr. Bismarck Bobby. Also, please ask the MPP guy who are going to represent the political parties. Is EC going to pay for the party agents or no reps of the parties for the continuous registration? Your strategy to add people to the register at the blind side of the other political parties. NDC will not agree to the continuous registration.
Mr. Nama say, Chama Bobby say, first,
first
now, to Bobby or Tibiano, first now, yeah, limited, voter registration, no beauty parties in the can Lodi and Kovaguana. On fire answer, no.
Let
me go ahead.
Unlimited.
Who
is going to represent the parties?
Yes, for how long? That is all.
Come on, listen. But a common registration, get his vote ID card. You or person control now share. Things office way.
We are stakeholders.
You see. Listen. A voter registration card. Yeah, no continuously. You see, yeah, no continuously. When I say be a Monday, my name is Ghana card. Person call me voter. I work in. It's me, a citizen. I don't need your political party. Be a citizen.
What about some more parties, more person? You know, you go and ask people to come and register.
You see. Intinu say banisa whose responsibility una o see you person ewia o control the community the member person ewia me I will go and sit there but let me go ahead let me go ahead
What the purpose of the
Ma'am when I be say question na answer but let me go 2 minutes me that say but mo dey all kasem be say MPP so mo wi abani mo kan sa me responding no. Me the Omampani Mahama statement will make in November 16, 2020, November 18, 2016. No, you're president. Ghana, I'll say it is an absurd and nonsense. Some of the synonyms for absurd is crazy. A dumbo and then kwasiasem say obedient say please keep quiet and listen.
No, but you're lying about
it. Read the
A different way.
But read mommy. But read mommy.
That's not what
Read mommy. About BIAMAH. Read Jano. The party must have gone with you. Because you can't even tell.
But where city? City FM online.
But you can't mommy.
18th November 2016.
That's it.
President John Mahama has rubbished claims by his political opponents that the Electoral Commission election rigging allegations absurd nonsense.
But open hear me. But that's mommy. Absurd means what? Absurd. Some of the synonyms for absurd, a dumbo, crazy, some of the synonyms for absurd, a dumbo. Into Mampani Mahama, Tamana president, or say, a dumbo, any nonsense in Kwasiasam, say, Obi Bia Bedrin say, Abaya or Tisono, Ebia election. This is Mampani Mahama. Tamana president. And Obasia, allow me to flow. Oh, a woman, Sanamwe. No card yet, you go to Mamusua. Obasia, Mamma, Obasia answer to you. Or say, some of them have gone to the extent of saying the Electoral Commission is preparing to rig the election for John Mahama. What absurd nonsense. Word, not my word, not in Africa. I say, what a not nonsense. Ghana's electoral system is one of the best in the world. Not my words, not in Africa. In the world, because it has inherent instruments for guaranteeing its integrity. Mami go chika semu. Or see, me on my penny and I'm Mahama no. Me see. Eye adambo sebi enen kwasiasem say obi bia beka say ye bewi abam ama omampani a otiso na oba ye yabato mu a Ghana electoral system no is the best shemano eye best over the whole world sa shemano eye best menka Africa omampani Mahama ene kasa no enti me de me answer obi a mikotu no enti wo a wadwin mu no Otiana, this is your answer. Now let me move forward.
When was he speaking?
The topic is this. Maybe this secret. Let me answer. So the thing is this. The thing is this. Maybe Electoral Commission go to me, and I will dear to her. On the parties, I go to the court. I go NDC one.
Who are the parties?
My men's uncle too. I said, don't get your mouth. The former General Secretary of NDC. Or say, 2017 January, NDC young call IPAC B. And the women communicator, the reading crowd to me renewed on authority. And now, Yakoya won't say entro. Unimunia, Oka. And everyone wants to request for parties because Mon Quaipac, so we don't have it. No problem.
Some of them don't exist.
Now, my face, I was saying, me, Mumpany for now, mature no, Munye Dina Kalan Church Moniamu. Because Aqualano Bomiana Teno into an okay every church relax it. So, Mamma, you know, you can or say, with 2017, and this when you boycott to a pack and go be where last year. The many communicator be on also Mbisane, the chairman, not because he called last year.
Many way be what has a graphic online. Parties agreed at IPAC to use Ghana card, GCPP. The General Secretary of the Great Consolidated Popular Party, Citizen Atudazi, has stated that the Inter-Party Advisory Committee agreed with the Electoral Commission on the use of Ghana card for the continuous registration. This, he said, was because it was the best form of identification of a Ghanaian by law and the correct base document for one to get their names on the electoral. And also a daily graph.
Because CBP to say one consultant on a party no better than on that topic. He doesn't also on him. He doesn't know.
Are you done?
So don't lie. You don't know.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your party stand.
Thank you, Nana Kofi. Thank you. Also, why consultation?
He communicates knowing his party stand.
This is the first time I've met this guy here, and I've never had a more offensive interaction. I think he's a liar. I need to tell him that. Excuse me. Oh, let me say
you
can your president know what
I
was saying making sure say president and he's very offensive. I'm not going to withdraw anything. I won't. You'll have to come and take it out of me.
I want to quote it.
See if you can take it out of me. You are a liar. And that is something I cannot abide by that. Look at you.
Look at yourself.
The best station in the best station in the capital.
We have seen for neat 100.9 and our song Egua Uti and Mighty Esuni na on the issue of IPAC meetings, yeah, DCPP General Secretary on a daily graphic Kasa, you know, and me Kotuhaka Krebi Amatie for Babia Ekoko Wie. Mr. Dazi said that IPAC political parties were given copies of the CI to study because the EC wanted to commence continuous registration where qualified Ghanaians who attained age 18 years or for some reason had not been able to register to have the opportunity to do so. He said the parties submitted their feedback on March 16, 2022. A committee with one member each from the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party, and 3 members from the remaining parties were formed. Mr. Darcy said at the meeting concerns were raised about the use of Ghana card, but after deliberations, it was agreed that the Ghana card was the best option, and at the June 1, 2022 meeting, they finalized the work on the new CI. It has already been agreed by IPAC at IPAC meeting. Enti when afa one political party mo magia to mawie ene ye de ababeto parliament ani ma parliament so e ba behwa bobo. Enti I don't know me who de ahuro ya no me ba cho
an official general secretary who now the national chairman of the
da ben o cancer
just this year.
And this one took place last year.
No.
This one took place last year.
When?
They published this on the 11th of August 2022.
Okay. Sorry, this one is
and all these discussions.
This one is 10th August 2022. That is a day before this. He granted an interview with Joy News. And Amubisan specifically on this. And he said, I see the first time draft when they made the input rep for the first day, when they submitted, the meeting couldn't come on. Into Amuka said, one call and on that two side then after just before we realized the draft is out. Into what me a bonnet now who said, no one said, the American, I know what you said. Since here we buy it, and these officials are casa on the back say, we are not consulting. First day I rep the call, meeting number so.
So after all, there
has never disagreed with this position of the NDC. Look at me. You see,
but
let me tell you, I agree with the content because if the NDC was not invited in the subsequent meetings, there were other political parties there. Obviously, they will say political parties are there. But the Americans said the subsequent meetings, Jantun sound for NDC. I don't know. That don't sound fair.
They submitted their report.
They didn't invite us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's the point. See, they are not against the use of Ghana card. And it should be stated clearly.
Okay.
The year can say the NIA law no and put it say before the NIA bear the sole card of registration. At this NIA and make it card no available to everybody. Into the year can say if NIA and running to say I just want the card now mo bia and sana. This is better imagine so the sole card media. Then you enter until the NIA not fulfilling that obligation. Then you can go ahead. That is all what we are saying.
Thank you very much. Now we are moving on. Adib Sani is accusing the president. Say, Ashama incident ne ba ye soja ni yekuno neche ya soja fwe kwa buronkrofoni ade adia mampenye as the head of state, as the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. When to me ama bonte amekabi bia amfa Ashama incident ne up to today. Or just say ama were feeling disappointed in the president. Soprano, are you ready? Okay, Bacho, a quick one and then you wrap up on it.
Just by the way, we are not party to so-called Convention People's Party. It's not a party. The
new CI.
Yes, then those who are supporting it. You understand? I'm saying that on authority.
Okay.
So if anybody is trying to gain legitimacy by associating themselves with the CPP, by saying the CPP is for that position, then that position is not our position.
Statement.
Sure. Thank you. So, in any case, with regards to the president making a statement, frankly, I don't know if the president is the right person to make a statement under the second. I read the follow-up police investigation to the military action. And, you know, I must say I'm proud of the Ghana Police Service, you know, for having done a sterling job. You know, our people, our cops, our police, they can do the job under the right circumstances. And we hope, say, more and more, the motivation to, you know, pursue their investigations in the manner in which they did with regards to Salifu. Penyina Okabe, this is an friend. Immoral, yeah, Sheriff. Sheriff, yes, to Sheriff. Now, again, no, the MAAME kokas are we the use of the military equipment, the sophisticated equipment no we use here.
When you say nunti nebia adibu say there was at least something.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the president needs to speak on this. Probably the one in now. The vice president is in charge of the police council. I wonder who his counterpart is at the military level. Okay, maybe that entity or that office could react to this issue. Also, no, me feel said the Ministry of Defense could probably handle it. And personally, as a political actor, no, I would want to use this opportunity saying National Commission on Civic Education, any Ghana Armed Forces, no, community some collaboration. So this is an opportunity. I mean, that's how I see it. An opportunity for the National Commission on Civic Education to liaise with the Army, Ghana Armed Forces, so that we can create a more civilian-friendly outlook for our military using this opportunity. Because, and I can say, equipment no they call operation. Equipment no they call operation no. Paying for planet to make a science here. Move. And me feel say at a certain level no. And paying for bet me take certain action be. And then presidential signature. So I don't know if the president is the right person to talk about it. However, I feel say the military to take advantage of the situation, liaise with NCCE, and change this narrative in their favor. Yes, thank you.
Mama.
The entire
2 minutes.
The entire obi bia be disappointed. Enka asem we hu na ombo hu wa and think about at the time ana call for failing the constitution by going to parliament for the state of the nation. As at that time, not the incidents are a part of the state, the nation, under security. And I'm a boy. Not at least imponu. A better fair. Because you who other foreign incidents are. Pin ya top. I am president on the Twitter handle. No, I got Twitter. But citizens are a something to about man. For them, issues and you're pressing to him. And me, I am very disappointed because the commander in chief when you police for a now what I say, vice president, the chair of the police council, president, the commander in chief. So if that particular troops does anything good or bad, it is to his favor because he is the commander to that particular troops. It is some he needs to be blamed. And this is my dear Mumma yen country ya soldier force. Yen rani buga country. A democratic country. Men cast a soldier nina ye cool no. So. You get me? I disagree with the act today. I won't support it today and I will never support it. On say ye German police for no. On say ye suspect no. And I'm a boy. And the ordinary citizens are omun sampo mon ta issue ni mumpono. They have suffered these difficulties. One guy actually a suspect. On say police form sanka. They have gone scot free because running po chere say uchi obi a or suspect until proven guilty. You get me? Into their police, their soldier for here. To be frank with you, we should condemn it. Remember, my friend. It's a who say into ne soprano. The service in previous. The journalist, I can call cover program. Our program I say. When I mean pengu, yekuna. Are you telling all journalists to come together, go and ransack the area and beat the people? David, you get me? So the fact that one man has failed doesn't mean that you take the law into your own hands. And that should not repeat itself again.
That's CP Mahama and on Kofi.
I mean, there was a topic in it straightforward. One penny, a deliver and state of the nation address. The number of motorbikes, pass a whole door, putting the 3 helicopters or the equipping. I would equip the police institution. I say, or any of it. Tie state institutions a cheap. To me, your Juma, then yes, sir. And Casa Obeji state institutions a Juma yet. I know, then yes, sir. The more equipment, no what tie or my cheap, or more to me, your Juma, then yes, sir. The state institution, the institutions are the constitutional bomb or cheap brass, Juma we see ya, una ye. And equally so, the police has done a fantastic job. Before the police release, I say my attitude let Dawson. Mami who I can't open the matima. Any cassa we are not there. And then so cassa we are not there. When you carry via and swassa, the penny pretty preco and cassa. Because over initiano and some man baba until police statement in a buy now. Eh, be a yemu be jumping cassa. A kind of wrongly. But after police statement, be brave, feel say, say na 70 year, say na 70 year. So, in him say, I don't see the head and tail of president commenting. The state institution who are mandated, so this fantastically, actually, and condemn it, you know, Yama Council,
Thank you very much. Nana Kofinti Amo of the NPP, Godwin Mahama of the NDC, and Sylvester Sapon Soprano of the CPP. The telephone lines now to 0302243540. Usube to me a friend now do I drink Abba. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Yes. Yes, Jina yi ene kasa, udi ni baby Afrifi. It's you.
Election. Nagana for El Casase and the Mompia MAAME to know of my Ghana. Tell the Mama Babo, the Catcher say, if you know for the independent, you can say you are on your Babo, my Ghana. But the other is must for my Ghana, not to have a top as you go back. It's for the Omompany. Never from you can't live in that and at you. And give them a many points. No fine, she will come my every month to a Magana for a episode of Negan after the Bagana. And a man, what you people maintain
Medasipi. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Amanda.
Yeah, Udini baby Afrifi.
1D1 FG.
Yo, Yanko, 1D.
Major was respect, Chiagan Funina. Michia, Dr. Bobia Michiano. Nobody Bobo, Celebrate or Mangana, Docoso. Eminia. Ghana for NDC, some cast Sabia. Monfan tra. Yes, sir. I don't know. Oma, 2012. Oma, no, almost shemla. Oma, no, almost shemla. So the almost one can. But the message, Brian Betuaba, NDC, it can come about the one movie. National identification card. I'm a free way. Before na Saturday, before Saturday, and NDC, I'm by on the Tasso. I thought I'm new, no Yendi, on the Hassle.
Hello, Medasipi. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. And Council, Udini baby Afrifi.
Nana Mohammed Kaswa over Yamasalaki.
Mohammed,
the incoming president of Japan. I mean, you know, Africa, so under your Buta, Michano, Barrier, Oba, Omara, we are. The American say, and this for my Jasa. When you were politics, whatever. You are yet to flow. Say, you know, some land to me, Poye, and Poye Magana for. Almost some of this architect. Almost some of them, no more Pia Mante, our woman, I go home.
No, so I'm a person Ghana for young Joe, GT Ben, to breaking the 8 year and people for no more. Yamia do so breaking the 8 or Yadibay Juma, Manosi
Mensomeda CP. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ejani Moyanko.
Yo, Pastor Lesia Academy, Yauna, Church for managing. To quite what I'm doing, one in Tiasi. In Tiaman saying, I will be a Yannia, Uncle. Young boy, it almost gets so many men. That is a tight minimum. Can't I? A video we are gunning. And not to in somewhere. The correct. Some Punya was a gun and out to a bar. And to my baby womb. And I told you. Yamia said, Yachim, Yachim, I just said, Move down, Babu Anthony. I had the idea. Almost uncle. No, I some paratum. Bye.
Medasipi. Hello, good afternoon. Pacho Dini baby Afrifi.
I'll be telling you, Tasaba.
Yo, at the bite you.
Yo, Mamicha MPP or Namta and more than so, may catch a NDC. A Ghana card, no. The president, about the cash, NDC Libya, and Conquer Ghana card, no. The General Secretary, no, yet a Sedu Ketia. Also, a press conference, a cash will be on Ghana card, no. Libya, the dear bar, such a Dumasia.
Adepa, what a Roma, man, two baby has a former President John Mahama, a cancer, my party, the party, Nibian Koye Ghana card. No. On one cassa, me batie. Tie, me say tie. Former President John Mahama, and cow baby, I say, the party at it for my omonko register for Ghana card.
Now, I say, don't get here.
Fine.
I know your General Secretary. Also, and then the Ghana card in Betua Bar. Mose Mompre, MF Ghana card in Betu. Now, a big no, Moko Kase, Obian Koyeno. Now, we say, Moye Obiana.
Hello, good afternoon. Yay, who didn't baby every few? Our boniana. Yo, Yanko.
Yamisha, I bring in. Pato, really, what down if a papa was here, former minister. They say, Obia Casopia, boy, or MPP more boy, what change upon the delegate. What to my boy charge upon one MPP. Mammy, what one make I say? Video, and I'm not permitted here, say, President Mahama say, and this is close to no. And good morning. Then go in part 3. But the back, part 3, Baba. More dear, my Ghana. Meaning, you hear your sister and call me, you and more dear boy. That's what by anybody echo. And yet they didn't get trouble. The uncle, bye bye.
One soon in Yamania Juma. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Udini baby Afrifi.
Mr. Cotti,
yo, I got it, yo.
Yo, Medasi. So, me with my power. What as far Doctor Mpom Wataka? Me another say FPP so-called, and that's a so-called fight against balance. Scam, no? FPP focus yesterday propaganda. And I say what to the Dr. Botekana. I see, and your flat stars for the FPP for any galaxy. So, you should not start to know. I will cut your God for say, and not fighting galaxy. These are the people governing this country. Trying to step in their therefore, trying to dishonest. I will cut the crop.
That's it. Hello, good afternoon. I would in baby Afrifi. Eddie, it's you.
yo mechia woti onyina na MDP delegate esremwa na umyemma uwa Kennedy akomple konchi na sede papa no wo adwenba ewo mabu no ho no se onu mum eba obeboa yin papa ba na oni say NDC then oni say ayina ka kire de ma o kan yen ana uwa mama udi atem say di we de u ka setia ayina na wo ye kwase ana konko ne ban the same thing and student get here on the can say any idiot can go to court. Also, do honor or on the age of my idiot to no case in the or no be more for that particular and I ordinary that do or the Kokujina court. Immediately, MPP for no. Yanyi ya hon yeva and gambum enya campaign na de we no eye ne de rather them and womo ye nya de aga na for be mama bi se de mi nuan kan se ne time no eba so after 2024
enso me da sipi abusuafo ha na ye de en course nyina bese de dwumade ni nyina ba wi aseda kase koma production Q Jordan me adomak Jerry Osajima Freeman na ya osafo wadaroma no bo mi chidom ma wi yi me dwumade yi ebrebo me sorry so la Michael eba beje adwaje entata de akofie ekosi se no nsia bebo no nsia bo a peace 104.3 ye de no nsia kase bo no ebeba Bidin MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO na mo amode messages ba ye mo adaroma mo fa nche me wate ne mentimi ankenkan message ne na ejana no hye me wa ha enti che se squad we mehwe omo yi next time ye do omo ba me pay me hye shingard pa na enanya nyame anko mu bumi ko masan bumi na mu aka ho enti me pa mo chew mo mentimi ankenkan mo messages na ma mo no please forgive me nyame ya domo a next Thursday me ba making kind ede amamo da munyana asemidin ede MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO betimi afrem biamzi one woman gada ma misoja makrao